Okay, again, so my name is Natalie McMillan. I'm at LCSW and at LCADC, and here I have my MSW student intern.
Hello, I'm Donna. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, guys. And then my counterpart.
Hi, I'm Audrey Snow, LCSW with WC Health.
Yay. And again, so this presentation was put together by Miss Jasmine Spence, LCSW, and Miss Leslie De La Riva. And we, at the time of this presentation being completed, she was a MFT, Marriage and Family Therapist intern. We'll have to follow up and see if we can add that L in there. And so this is problem solving, conflict resolution skills, and crisis intervention and suicidality.
Okay, so the points of this training are on mediation and de-escalation, conflict resolution, crisis intervention, and suicidality, and how to work within scope of each of these practices is something that will be emphasized throughout the training.
Yes. Ooh, this is like my favorite icebreaker. It really is. So everyone will share what the best piece of advice you've ever been given. This could be personal, professional, educational. Yeah. What was the best piece of advice you were ever given?
We need to, or we can reschedule therapy. So what I'm going to do is
I would say one that I was given is don't internalize everything that someone else is dealing with. Basically, if somebody's angry, they're not necessarily angry with you, although their actions show that. They are just angry at the situation.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that.
I like that. Angela.
I don't know about the best advice I've ever been given, but one that I kind of like to follow is to be able to do your best work, you have to love what you do.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much.
I believe the best advice I was given just to believe in myself. Once I believe I will be able to achieve.
Nice. I've heard recently an IOP from a client. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. I'm like, wow, so powerful.
Wow.
Nicole.
Best advice probably be making mistakes shows that you're trying.
And can we have Janet? Oh.
Don't assume anything. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, my phone's ringing at the same time.
Did you assume we couldn't hear you?
I did.
How about you are enough?
Love that one. It's been my mantra at yoga lately. Donna.
My father always told me to, how did he word it? You're going to do a job, learn how to do it properly the first time. Do it right the first time.
My God. Did our fathers grow up together?
Probably.
That's the only advice my dad ever gave me.
Probably.
if you're gonna do it, you better do it right the first time. That way you don't have to do it again.
Yep.
God. Just breathe. I like that one. Taking a breath, working with kids, adolescents, mental health, right? It's kind of like a phrase that's thrown around, but man, it's a powerful one if you actually take the advice. Audrey?
Yeah. Hearing some really good advice from people. I think kind of along a similar theme. Some of the best advice I've ever received of going into the profession of mental and behavioral health is that you don't go at it alone. And then kind of in line with that, I had a mentor tell me, if you think that you know it all, that's when you should start to be scared. Right? It's like, that's not a great place to be in. And so I really think the two go hand in hand, that we don't do it alone and that we don't know it all. And always being willing to learn and grow. It's good advice.
Can I piggyback off what you said about that? Don't be alone. One thing I did, because my grandparents and everybody, they all got something. Some more wise tale that seem to work. But the don't be alone. The other thing is never do the same routine. Like going home, not at the same time, or taking the same route all the time. It's similar to the don't be alone. Do things alone. Because people start watching you and know your movements.
I would be very predictable then. They would have me.
So maybe I can give context to it. It's like in this work, right? We don't do it alone. Like, talk to your colleagues, talk to supervisors, talk to peers. It was more like that. But I think, yeah, buddy system's a great program.
Yeah, we're not watching a Dateline episode.
I'm so structured. It's sad. I try to adhere to my script, but it's hard.
Tanasha's got to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's good.
Tanasha, thank you, darling. You are the best.
Awesome. Tanasha, did you go? Did I miss it?
I did. Just believing yourself and have some self-confidence. If you believe you can achieve it, you will.
Thank you. I just didn't want to skip anybody. I would rather go to someone twice than skip somebody. So
You're welcome, no problem.
That's
Okay.
funny. That was my 6th grade motto, graduation motto.
And here you are. You achieved.
Oh, I'll tell you my high school graduation quote. It does align with this. If you don't tell a lie, you never have to remember anything. It just is, right? And I love that, because if we just be our authentic, genuine, ethical selves, document it, we really don't have to, because we can always refer back and almost, well, this is how my procedure is with my clients, so I would have done this. And then I look at my note and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I documented it so well. Yeah,
I like that too. I've heard that one.
yeah. I believe that's from Mark Twain. Okay, problem solving and conflict resolution. So problem solving and conflict management involves supporting and requiring consistent, respectful, and effective discussion and resolution of issues when they arise. And again, right, as long as we're a team at WC Health with housing staff, right, with case management and MA, right, that we can come together as a team in a fluid stance, right, to address issues as they arise. Not if they arise, as they arise.
Absolutely. And with conflict resolution, the definition for this is that is conceptualized as the methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful end of conflict and retribution. Committed individuals attempt to resolve conflicts by actively communicating information about their conflicting motives or ideologies to others or the rest of the group. Examples are intentions, reasons for holding certain beliefs, and by engaging in collaborative negotiation.
Mhm.
So this really piggybacks off of our communication training that we've been doing as well.
Collaborative, like how can we find a solution? Right, conflict resolution is the way individuals understand and view the conflict with beliefs, perspectives, and understanding and attitudes. Sometimes in this day and age, right, we just agree to disagree, right? That may be the best resolution at the time, especially if two sides are very committed to their beliefs, right? Emotional resolution, right, is the way individuals feel about a conflict, the emotional energy, like how did I feel after the outcome of that, right? And we may have to resolve that on our own or with outside help, right? It's okay to seek out help. We're helping professionals, and yeah, sometimes it's okay to talk to a colleague, a family member, outside help. This therapist has a therapist. It's okay. I see her Saturday at 11:30, and I'm excited. Behavioral resolution is reflective on how the individuals act or their behavior, right? Ultimately, a wide range of methods and procedures for addressing conflict exists, including negotiation, mediation, arbitration, diplomacy, and creative peace building, right? What are we going to do moving forward, right? To work cohesively, right? To coexist. Yes.
So successful conflict resolution depends on our ability to manage stress, right? So can we prevent a situation from becoming more escalated by controlling our own emotional responses to it? Stay alert and calm, and by staying calm, we can accurately read and interpret verbal and nonverbal communication. So we can better assess the situation. We can better identify what next steps might need to be. Control our emotions and behavior. When we're out of control in our emotions, we can when we're in control of our emotions, we can communicate our needs without threatening, or punishing others. We can pay attention to the feelings being expressed as well as the spoken words of others. And we can be aware of and respectful of differences by avoiding disrespectful words and actions.
Okay. So Audrey's going to go ahead and jump off, and we'll see her tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Okay, healthy and unhealthy ways to respond to conflict. So we're just going to utilize the best of our 9 minutes. Unhealthy responses to conflict, right? Inability to recognize or respond to matters of great importance to the other person, right? And that may be due to lack of awareness of the situation. Also, inability or something that we've never addressed before, right? Maybe we were raised in a household where we didn't address situations, right? We weren't assertive. So then when in life or in our profession, when we're needing to show up, right, in situations, it may be very difficult to do, right? And if that's true, it's okay to be aware of it and then to find ways to increase your tolerance, right? In handling situations, also like emotionally and physically. Some people can get very explosive, right? Instead of shutting down and being very reserved, right? Some people are explosive. They get angry, hurtful, resentful, right? I think we have seen both sides of that coin with our clients. Yes? Yeah. More so the explosive one or introvert?
More explosive.
Yeah. Oh, you're on mute.
More explosive.
Like explosive.
Thank you guys. Yes. Right. And also when they get like bigger, they may it can be a defense mechanism too, right? That they want to create space, right? And to protect themselves. While in turn other people, feeling that they could potentially be in danger. Right? They can withdraw, love, resulting in rejection, isolation, shaming, and fear of abandonment. Those can be with our clients who have been in like foster care system, those who have been abandoned by their mother or father, right? And were raised by other family members. Therapy, we would say maybe a cluster B personality traits would be some of those characteristics. The expectation about outcomes, right? Always anticipating that the next shoe will drop or nothing ever works out. And also the fear and avoidance of conflict. I can't. I won't. So healthy ways to address conflict, right? The capacity to recognize and respond to important matters, right? Like, ooh, this is important. What do I need to do? What is my next step? Readiness to forgive and forget. I think having an open mind, right? To be more forgiving of things. And at work, right? I would always just adhere to policy and procedure, right? What things can be a client would be put on a BH contract and what would put a client on the hard no list, right? That would be pretty much, right? Is it a BH contract or is it the hard no is what I would that's healthy, right? Because not only that, we're keeping the client safe themselves, because if we're not an appropriate fit for the needs that they need, right, we can actually cause more harm by keeping that individual in our program. And also we can put their peers at risk and also ourselves. The ability to compromise and avoid punishing. If it's not on the rules or expectations of those in our program, I think we can find some compromising. But if it's on the rules, right, expectations and housing IOP, right, we need to hold the line, because then we show clients that we are a cohesive team and that we communicate and that we follow through. Right. And that's really important, because then overall, right, our reputation in the community is like, oh yeah, they've got a very structured program and they really mean, they hold the line very well. And definitely, it can ebb and flow with circumstances, how many program, what staff, for short staff, all that sort of thing. But really adhering to setting up our reputation as individuals that we choose to work for an agency, right? That adheres to and that WC Health represents. and it just is so cohesive across the board. And that's what we're trying to do, right? Bringing the Reno and Las Vegas together, even though we are miles apart, but of how, you know, bringing us together as a cohesive unit. Belief that resolution can support the interests and needs of both parties, right? So just really good at, there's that active listening to both parties and finding a compromise. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause. And then this is slide 9. Let me give myself a little note. And then we will pick it back up. I believe it's tomorrow at 8 a.m. Is that right? I don't know.
Oh, you just.
Yes, tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Thank you so much. And then we only have 8 to 10. And then we have this, and then professionalism, which are
more money, right?
the most fun. The fun ones. We got the, yeah. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. for our last 2 hours, and then you'll be done with our portion, and then you'll have the 4 hours with Miss Kate.
Thank you, Nellie. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
You too.
Bye. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.
And ways of